Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. So today we're having a social media soiree on how to decorate your social for the holidays. So we know the holidays are coming up. Are we prepared? Probably not, but you're in good company because everyone here is feeling the same way that you are. So what we're going to talk through today is, some ways that you can prepare for your business for the holidays so that you are ahead of the game when it comes to promoting your different sales and upcoming events. So before we get too far into the content, I want to tell you a little bit about me and why you should be listening to me today. so all those countries that you see in orange, those are countries that I either visited or I've lived in. So by the time I was 7, I had already lived in 5 different countries. I went to school in 4 different countries. And it was quite the exciting life. I really enjoyed moving from place to place and really getting a chance to discover new cultures and understand what that meant at a young age. It definitely shaped the way I look at the world, and it definitely shaped the way that I listen and observe because I had to learn something new each time that I went to a new country. There was, new customs, new cultures, new procedures, just new ways of doing things that were exciting and interesting. So that's a little bit about my history. I definitely want to see more of this map turn orange. So I went to school in Texas, and I went to the University of St. Thomas in Houston, Texas for college. And my senior year of college, I realized I loved marketing, and I was already graduating, but I just had taken my marketing credit, and I don't know why it waited so long, but I did. And when I realized that, I thought I have a couple options here. I could rearrange my degree plan and stay in school longer, or I could graduate with a degree that I enjoyed going in and figure out how to make this marketing thing a part of my life anyway. And that's what I chose, the latter of the two. So what I did was after I graduated, I had a double major in management information systems and business. I started working part-time for the Disney Corporation on their Radio Disney branch. And it was amazing. I was able to do promotions and events, and I learned all about branding from the Disney Corporation. I led teams. I was on the mic as an MC and led kids through their activities and games and introduced dancers, and it was just so much fun. And I even had my own radio show, so it was a blast. I did that for 5 years while working full time in IT project management. One of those companies I worked for was Citigroup, and I was on the commodities trading team for IT support. So it was crazy. It was so busy and so fast paced, and it was really interesting. I was always solving a puzzle. But at the end of the day, it really wasn't where I wanted to be spending the majority of my lifetime. And so after becoming a consultant and doing a few more things in the IT, project management, commodities trading world, I realized it's time for me to make my step forward into my own business. Um, I had started Betsy Bash and Lauren Ignited about 7 years ago. About 2 years ago, I quit the corporate world and went and pursued Betsy Bash and Lauren Ignited full time. And then about a year ago, I started a podcast called Chefs Coast to Coast, which is now about to launch into a new podcast called The Ignited Podcast, the Lauren Ignited Podcast. So I'll send you guys a link to that. It's a really fun show. I think you'll enjoy it. But yeah, that's a little bit about my history. And I want to tell you a little bit about who Betsy Bash is and what that really means. So Betsy Bash is a fictional character that I dreamed up inspired by my grandmothers. I had my Grammy, my mom's mom, and she was very etiquette driven. She it still is. It's very important to her to have like a fresh, clean tablecloth all the time, and always have a table set before dinner. And she was just a hoot to be around. I remember one Thanksgiving we were planning the meal, and we would do this like weeks ahead. And she asked me, well, Lori, because that's what she called me, said, Lori, what should we have? What else should we have for dinner? And so I suggested mashed potatoes. And she quickly told me no. And the reason was because we were already having something white. So we couldn't have two white things on the same plate. So that's the level of, I don't want to say housewife, but like the level of etiquette that she always put forth. So she was all about prim and proper, and making things beautiful and delightful. My Mimi still had all the etiquette training. You know, she was still very much a product of that lifestyle, but she was a little more sassy, and you know, she would talk her way out of speeding tickets, and you know, she always had one-liners and sassy comments, and she's just hilarious. So, you know, those two women really taught me that you have to know the etiquette for the situation you're walking into, but once you're there, have fun. Right? Have fun, differentiate yourself, tell people you're there, show up and let people know you're around. And those two women really shaped my life in that way, right? They taught me to do that. And I think that translates really beautifully to social media, because you have to know the etiquette of Facebook versus Instagram versus Twitter versus YouTube, right? And then once you're on these platforms, how do you show the world that you are different? How do you show the world that your brand is where they need to spend their time, that you're the one they need to trust, right? So a little bit about what our work looks like. We work with, we work with people in two ways. We either coach you through implementing a social media plan into your business, or we do it for you, right? So there's lots of options there. So these are a couple of clients where we do it for them. On the left is BB's Cafe. There are 7 locations, about to be 8 locations in Houston, Texas. And they're a Tex Orleans restaurant. So it's a little bit Texas, a little bit New Orleans. So you can tell it's going to have a little Cajun flair to it. For BB's, crawfish season is huge. And so one day I was like, I really want to find a fun crawfish meme. And so I dug around the internet forever. You know, and then I found this one and I thought, this is it. And I do this, I posted it, and I immediately left, you know, all social media. And that way I let it do its thing. I don't watch it, right? I don't want to like hover over it and see what results happen. And when I came back, I was really delightfully surprised at the results. It had over 275 shares, tons of comments, lots of likes, over 500 likes. And it really hit home for them, right? Like it really was what they were looking for. It was really how they felt about the business, how they felt about the product, how they felt about the crawfish. And that's what made it work, right? So unless you know your audience, unless you know who you're talking to, it's going to be hard to get these kinds of results. On the right side, Hot Pets is an old grooming salon in Houston, Texas as well. I'm based in Chicago, but a lot of my clients are in Houston because I moved from Houston. And I just like to find cute and cuddly things to post on their Facebook, because people tend to like that kind of stuff, right? Who doesn't love cat videos? And so all I used for the copy was your daily dose of awe, and it was just kittens cuddling with Dalmatians. That's all it was. That's all it was. It was just a little video, and you know, so it got over 17,000 views, over 1,000 people reached, and quite a few likes for this brand. So it's a little bit about what our work looks like and what we can deliver for our clients. These are a few of them. All right, so let's get into why you're here. So let's say you're hosting a Small Business Saturday event for your business. You're going to need to tell people that you're doing this Small Business Saturday thing, because otherwise they're not going to know. And your neighbor that's in business is going to tell them that they're doing a Small Business Saturday, and they're going to get the business, not you, right? So you want to start letting people know ahead of time. So if you think about it kind of like in invitations, right? You want to send a save the date. So 2 months ahead, let people know this thing is happening, right? Send an email and create some images. We'll talk about that in a second. But you're going to want to send that save the date and let people know 2 months ahead of time that your party's coming up, right? And then let's say you've passed this point, right? Because if we use the Small Business Saturday example, we're not 2 months away. We're about a month and a couple weeks away. So so you could do a save the date and immediately an invitation, or you could just jump to the invitation, right? And the save the date, the difference between a save the date and the invitation would just be kind of the way you tease out the content. So you might tell them, we're doing something really special for Small Business Saturday, and the weekend after Thanksgiving. So keep your eyes peeled. We can't wait to share it with you. That'd be a really great example for save the date. An invitation will be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Small Business Saturday, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, we're going to have 50% off sale on all fill in the blank, right? So the invitation is a lot more clear. It includes the time and includes the exactness of what you're trying to promote. And you should send that about 1 month ahead. So people still have time to marinate on it. They remember it when it comes up. And then throughout that time, past the invitation, before the RSVPs, you really wanted to send social reminders. So this is just going to pop up when you see someone that you want to invite, when you're on Facebook, and you think of a good thing that could tie in. So if there's maybe there's a Small Business Saturday promotion that American Express is sending out, then you could forward that, you could repost it on your Facebook page and include the copy about what you're doing, right? So don't forget, our business is also doing Small Business Saturday, and then here's how you can save with us and help a small business. And then you kind of want to start gathering your RSVPs. I say 2 weeks to 2 days ahead, right? Because it depends on the size of your event. It depends on if it really requires an RSVP, right? But in that 2-week time period, you really just want to be focusing in on making sure everyone that you think is a good fit for this knows about what you're promoting, okay? So 2 months ahead, 1 month ahead, and then 2 weeks to 2 days ahead, and with social reminders all throughout that. So here's some tools you're going to need. You're going to need Canva. Canva is a fantastic tool. There's a free version and a paid version, but it'll let you create all your flyers. It even has templates, so all you have to do is drag and drop. And if you spring for the paid version, you can set up your branding colors, and you can also set up your branding fonts, which is huge. Every time you want to create a flyer, it already has your font ready. It's your default font. And then your default branding colors are included. So it makes it really easy, and it's pretty affordable. So think about going for the paid version of Canva if you haven't already. You're also going to need a social media scheduling app, right? Because we're going to be sending out a lot of reminders. We're going to be sending out invitations, and that's just going to become too much for you to keep up with on a day-to-day basis. It's a lot easier if you schedule it forward, especially with something like an event, where the message doesn't really change. It's always going to be this day, this time, this offer, right? If you do have some sort of party attached to it, I like Eventbrite. You guys used Eventbrite to get to the webinar today, so you probably like Eventbrite too. You definitely need some sort of email management, because social is not enough. You cannot rely on social for the entirety of your marketing. You're going to need to email your email list. If it's just your friends and family right now, start with that. But have an email list and a way for people to opt in so that it can grow. And then just a regular old calendar, right? Because we're looking at a lot of dates. We're talking about, this concept of save the date versus invitation versus RSVPs versus social reminders. Put that in a calendar. Make your life easy, right? I'm all about finding ways to organize your life so that it is not overly difficult. So whichever way that makes sense to you, if it's the calendar on your phone, if it's a pen and paper calendar, that's fine. You just want to notate the dates down that are going to be important for your event. Okay, so we talked about Canva. You're going to need to create some images in Canva. You can do a cover photo that promotes your event, and just pop that up, just make one design. Make sure it's, when I say one design, that's going to be the one look and feel, right? You'll have to alter it just a little bit when it comes to like Facebook versus Twitter versus YouTube, because of the way it positions the profile picture. And one thing to note is the Facebook image is going to be different from your personal Facebook page than your business Facebook page, because now the business Facebook cover photos don't overlap on the profile picture, whereas your personal Facebook pages still overlap on your profile picture. So one won't work for both if you have text in the space where your profile image will be on your personal Facebook page. But you want to keep the same look and feel, right? So it's essentially the same design, just altered for where that Facebook profile picture is. And then you want to just go ahead and do it all at once. And Canva has a resizing option for you to make it even easier. So you can do Facebook, Twitter, and if you have a YouTube page, do YouTube. And then you need some sort of flyer to pass around, right? Just a digital flyer. If you want to get them printed, sure, get them printed. I like to stick with electronic unless I really, really, really need to print something. You're going to want one main flyer design. This is the thing that everyone sees and recognizes as your event. And then you're going to want a couple alternative designs, right? So let's say you're doing a small business Saturday and you have a brick and mortar business, and then there's 2 other businesses next door to you that are also small businesses. So the 3 of you could team up and do one giant small business Saturday, right? So whether it's you get 20% off all 3, or you get, a free gift if you purchase from each store, get creative with it. Definitely separate yourself from the pack. But you could those alternative designs could have their logos on them. They could have profile pictures of the owners of those restaurants with a little bio about why you support them and why they support you. You could have just different, just kind of different layouts to catch people's eye. And as long as you have that one main flyer as well. So that's your anchor flyer, and then you could have alternative designs just kind of for fun and to provide more info about why they should come, right? People aren't going to read a ton of copy on your posts, but they will look at the image. So what I like to do is just size all of these for Instagram inside of Canva. And then you don't have to worry about, will it fit on Twitter? Will it fit on Facebook? Yes, the answer is yes. It will fit everywhere because it's square. Instagram is really the only one that has limitations when it comes to size. All right, so I want to take a step outside of what we're talking about today and just talk about your social media on the grand scale of things, right? So when you look at your social media pages, this is how often you should be posting to your social media pages every day, right? So you need like 2 Facebook posts a day. You need 5 to 24 tweets a day. You need 2 to 3 posts a day on Instagram. And sometimes I even drop that down to 1, depending on kind of where you're at in the follow to follow relationship. LinkedIn, you want 1 to 2 posts a day, right? So if you think about all that, then look at when should you be promoting your event, right? If you're posting all this content out there that's, includes your event, but is not necessarily about your event, then you can fit your event in this way. Let's say Facebook, you do 1 post a week. Twitter, 5 tweets a week, because remember, you're doing 5 to 24 tweets a day, so this is not going to overwhelm anyone. Instagram, 2 posts a week. LinkedIn, 1 post a week. Okay, so this is where you get that calendar out and you think, okay, these are the flyers I want to send. And this is also why those alternative designs are important, because you don't want to put the same flyer on Facebook every week. That'll get boring. People will start to ignore it. But if you switch it up, 1 week is the main flyer. The second week, it's the flyer about your neighbor business that you're partnering with on Small Business Week. The third week is about the other neighbor you're partnering with on Small Business Day, so Small Business Saturday. The fourth week, it's that flyer again, right? Or it's the alternative design, another alternative design of that flyer. So you see what I'm saying, right? So you can switch it up so that people get the idea, but they don't get bored by the content. All right, so that is all we have for you today on the decorating your social for the holidays. This is really going to help you, hone in on that one special event you want to do this holiday season, or maybe the multiple events, right? If you want to run multiple promotions, because there's so many things coming up with these holidays. You've got Halloween, you've got Thanksgiving, you have Small Business Saturday, you have Black Friday, you have Cyber Monday, you have Giving Tuesday. You have Christmas, Hanukkah, so many holidays that you could plan promotions and events and really fun ways to engage with your clients and customers around. And at the base of all that, you want to always be nice to everyone you meet. You want to be cautious about your automation, right? So don't send out an email before you finished it. Don't just send an autoresponder on Twitter, because you might have just met that person in real life and then the autoresponder will seem fake and just not appropriate, right? Be consistent. If you start this promotion, do everything you can to stick with it. We know life gets in the way. We know being a small business owner is hard, but do your best to stick with it. And then be sweet and sassy. Get out there and show your difference to the world. Show them why you started your business and why you want them to be a part of it. All right, we've got this little testimonial from one of my past clients that I thought would be fun for you to listen to, just so you get another feel for what it is that I do with my clients. And then we'll open it up for questions if you guys have any.
Lauren, for the amazing session we did the other day. So, Lauren, in like seriously 2 hours, I was feeling sort of overwhelmed with my social media and what to do, what to know, how to like map it all out. I needed some structure, and in 2 hours, I'm not kidding you guys, it was amazing. So she got very clear on my business and what my needs were on the type of post. Yeah, perfect questions. We dove right in, and in 2 hours, she like pumped out this magnificent, like seriously amazing spreadsheet with all of November and December planned out for me. So all I have to do is go check, like go look in that, follow that, and I am present in all social media outlets like a mofo, and it has been so delicious. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, if you don't know quite what to say on social media, if you need help with this, I cannot recommend it enough. Well.
All right, so I accidentally cut her off there, but that's Jeannie. So she really enjoyed working with me. She's a coaching client. All right, so I'll open up to any questions, and then we will get you guys back to your workday. Okay, so that's a great question. So she asked about how do you do the resizing in Canva? So when you're inside of Canva, you should go to the Canva menu, and there will be a magic resize button. So that's all you have to hit, and then there'll be a drop-down menu from there that will ask you which ones you want to do, and you can do multiple. So you could design, let's say, for Facebook cover photo, and then you want a magic resize to YouTube and Twitter cover photo, and you can do that no problem. Thanks for your question. All right, so she's asking about, what happens if you don't quite stick to this schedule of 2 months ahead, 1 month ahead, 2 weeks to 2 days? So like we said, right, be consistent, that's important, but we understand that it's hard to be a small business owner and lots of things come up. You're going through holidays too, right? It's not just your customers. So I think if you don't stray too far from it, any flexibility you need to add to it will really be okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining. We're really excited you were able to come today, and I hope we got some good nuggets of information out of here. If you have any other questions, feel free to shoot me an email at lauren@betsybash.com or schedule a discovery call with me on my website at betsybash.com/chat. All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.